tables.
Now, error analysis is different from the contrastive analysis. Contrastive analysis, we don't go out and collect real data. We don't go out, okay, you write this essay, lepas tu you take, come back, you find, and then you analyze. Contrastive analysis, we look at existing data. Look at Malay dictionary, English dictionary, we are the expert, we compare and contrast. That is contrastive analysis. Obviously, it has a lot of witnesses. Therefore, the weak version of contrastive analysis is actually error analysis. Okay? What does the weak version say? It says that some of the errors are due to first language interference. There are also other factors. But for your project, you only look at first language interference because you cannot hypothesize. What other reasons? You cannot say, oh, maybe they can talk generally. But you have to attribute the mistake to first language interference. Okay? That's the only way for you to explain. Now, when you analyze errors, you collect the data done for you, identify the error, you've not done it, classify the error, there will be a taxonomy or classification, quantifying the errors, you're going to count how many errors you're looking at prepositions, right? I have to upload the question. And if you do preposition, be like your seniors. They don't mind you. Then you analyze the source of errors based on the few models that I'm giving you, and you remediate the errors. Remediate, why? Because you are TEFL teachers. Students from here, they don't have to do remedial teaching. Because you are teachers, so you always must think of remedial work. The whole process of diagnosis, you found these are the weaknesses. Your remedial work will be based on the weaknesses that they found. Okay? For remedial students who are weak. Now, what is error? Error is a deviation in learner's language which results from lack of knowledge of correct. Error is different from mistake. Mistake is because today you are tired, you didn't sleep the whole night, you were studying for the test. So for today only your performance is not good. Then you make a mistake. Okay? Errors are, however, a result of your lack of knowledge. You did not study, you really don't have the knowledge. You slept for 24 hours yesterday. No problem with your health. You had your breakfast, but you don't have the knowledge. That's an error. So that's why we mark for error, but we cannot identify the difference between mistake and error. That's the big part of the test. Kalau salah. We don't ask you, did you have a breakfast? Did you sleep last night? Did you, maybe you didn't bring your spectacles or what? You spell wrongly. So error analysis, a set of procedures for identifying, describing, explaining, and verifying errors in learner's language. Now there are two types of errors. It can be overt or covert. An overt error is a deviation that is apparent in the surface form, so you can see. Alright? Covert, however, is when the intention is taken into account, particularly in speech and in writing. Okay? So one is maksud tersirat, the other one is, it's not maksud lah, but I'm giving you an example. One is tersurat lah. It's not clear. In life, there's a lot of misunderstanding when we look at certain things, and being human, we tend to interpret negatively. If people do like this, you feel they are talking about you. Actually, they are not. They are talking about themselves sometimes. Okay? So it all depends on meaning and intention and the uptake by the person who is at the receiving end. Okay? Covert errors. Now, learners, as part of language creativity,
revise early,
Be
put
positive.
notes.
Positive only doesn't help much. It helps a lot, I'm sure. But how do you overcome all these things that you are carrying? Take action. Huh?
Plans, put notes.
Sorry?
We plans early, such as this one. We plans early on how to overcome our task, and then if you have some time, just put notes in the on the refrigerator, reminding that you are going to feed the cats today.
Yeah. Those are strategies and ways, the techniques of boosting your memory. In other words, you have to have awareness. You have to tell yourself, you know you are like this. So when you stop your car, you park your car, you must tell yourself, I have to check whether the car is locked before I leave it. Before you leave the car, then you go until it's floating car, then come down and check again. Waste of time. Yeah, so you must be very careful. Where do you park your car? Awareness. You cannot find your car after that. So if you know you are that type of person, you have to find steps to overcome it. Likewise in language. If you know you are very careless in spelling, you must check. Always reserve the last 5 minutes for checking the answers in the test. Why? Because you're like this. You know you're like this. Okay? Now some people say carelessness is due to motivation, related motivation to you. Probably it is. Materials are not suitable, styles of presentation not interesting, environment not conducive, okay? And mental preoccupation. You are preoccupied. Oh, tomorrow nak balik kampung. So you cannot concentrate. Therefore, when you write the essay, a lot of mistakes. And then words that are not related, not relevant, you also write in the essay. Why? Because your mind is there, but you're writing this. So what is your problem? You lack focus. In life, you must focus. Today is a test. The 20 minutes is dedicated to this test. Nothing else. Focus. Stay focused. Okay? That's the way to do it. Just focus on the job. Now, causes of errors. First language interference for a project, please attribute everything to first language interference, although we know it's not true. Skinner's behaviorist theory, we've done it in the first lecture. Learning is done through modifications based on what has been learned. Learners cannot repeat or reproduce what is not yet learned or exposed to them. Do you agree? The best thing that we could do is to reteach a structure which eventually allows students to see the patterns. So a lot of repetition when you're teaching the English language. Okay, because it's a habit. Causes of errors. Language interference is number 1. Carelessness. Carelessness, first language interference. Translation. Okay, you translate from Malay to English. That's why students come up with very, very strange and awkward expression in English. Okay, you read through the slides, it's really uploaded. And the 4th reason, overgeneralization and incomplete application of rules. Yeah, like for past tense, you add ed to everything, every verb. Because you overgeneralize. You know that in past tense, you must add ed in some form, but for every verb, you just add ed. Okay, she must go. You are not aware that after a modal, you must use the base form. She must go. Although she is singular, because she goes, but she must go. Okay? Yesterday I walked to the shop and I walked to the shop and I bought. Yes, I read much. General order of difficulty. If there is a general order of difficulty, so what is the implication? Earlier part of the life of the student, you have to teach structures that are easier to be acquired. You'd be surprised that past tense is the first tense that is taught. It's not the present tense, but when you go to schools, everybody teach present tense, past tense, future tense, and perfect tense. Is there a universal order of difficulty? Please read your article. Causes zero in on nation speakers. What are the mistakes? If you can find in the essays as well. Analyzing, describing errors. Description of an error refers to the product of the language acquisition, whereas explanation of error refers to the language of acquisition. One is describing, one is explaining. Does that make sense? The stage that we are in is called the interlanguage. We are not native speakers, neither are we at the most basic stage where we are learning the language. We are in the middle stage, so we call it interlanguage. Apparently, interlanguage level has its own peculiarities and features, which all of us have. We are not native speakers, but it's also consistent with language. We have interlingual between two languages, interlingual transfer, or intralingual errors within the English language itself. There are a lot of complexities, so the students make the mistake. Now, if it's due to first language interference, it's called interlingual. Within the language itself, we call intralingual. And the stages of acquisition, we have first language acquisition, then we have the interlingual, the interlanguage stage, okay, and the native speaker stage. Okay. Sama no have money, sama tak ada duit. Okay, these are some examples. You read it through yourself. You have to ask yourself, is the error a manifestation of the process of negative transfer? Is it a reflection of some conscious translation strategy, or is it due to some factors not yet considered? But for your project, you blame it on the first language, everything. So you compare the structures of both languages. Best recap, carelessness, first language interference, number 2 is important for your project. Translation you can put under first language interference, overgeneralization, and incomplete application rules. Types of errors, intralingual and developmental error. Okay. And interlanguage, what we are at now. Types of errors. You can use linguistic category or survey strategy or comparative taxonomy. These are the examples, which is taken from your reading material. Other factors, maybe a whole world of other factors. Pressure to communicate, things like this. Your pressure. Then you should talk about teaching implication to teachers and learners, errors. Length of text 250 words, sales is 300, right? Number of errors, how many errors? Relative frequency. This is you are looking at preposition, so you count divide by the length of the text. And use your computer very easy. So you can say that it's 4%, but you're using NCOM, so it's very easy. Then you can do descriptive statistics. Have you tried? Okay, let's put it this way. Next week you have 1 hour, you have 3 hours. Okay, so there's no excuse for you to say that you have no time to come as a group to discuss. You are supposed to use the tutorial hours and lecture hour for your group project next
Oh, it's